Hello everyone. Hope you guys are fine. The objective of this video is to continue the modern Indian history series that we had started. So, as you all know, we have covered chapter 1 of Modern Indian History, class 12th NCERT by Bipin Chandra. And also, I have made a video that had covered partially chapter 2 of the Modern Indian History book. So this video is in continuation with the chapter 2. So I am starting from where I left earlier from chapter 2. For those who haven't seen the earlier videos on modern Indian history, the links of the previous videos are available in the description. You can go through them and you can watch this video in continuation. So now let us start. In the last video, we had discussed few of the states that have become independent from the Mughal authority, and after the decline and disintegration of the Mughal Empire, these regional powers became very important. So few of them I had already discussed, like the Hyderabad, Bengal, Awadh, Karnataka. So all these were discussed previously. Today, I'm going to discuss another important power in South India that was very important in the 18th century, and it was Mysore. So today we will be discussing about Mysore. So without wasting any time, let us start, guys. So before discussing about Mysore, an important kingdom in South India, let me add few points here. In this chapter, I have added few details that were very briefly mentioned in NCERT, like the Anglo-Mysore Wars. So I have tried to cover them in detail so that the topic becomes clearer to the audience and the things get covered along with the flow. So the flow also is not broken. So I have tried to cover other things as well, which are very briefly mentioned or not at all mentioned in NCERT. So starting with Mysore. So as I told you, it was an important kingdom in South India. And we will be discussing Mysore under two important rulers, Hyder Ali and his son Tipu Sultan. So both of them were considered as their greatest enemies by the British. So we will see how Hyder Ali, he became an important figure in Mysore, and how Mysore became a very powerful kingdom under Hyder Ali. So let's see the story. Now, Mysore, it emerged as an important power center in South India under Hyder Ali. Hyder Ali, he was born in 1721 and he joined the Mysore army as a small officer. So Hyder Ali, he was uneducated, but he had brilliant skills and he was a great commander. So therefore, he rose to higher ranks in the Mysore army. So Mysore army was engaged in wars with the neighbors and he utilized these opportunities and he rose to higher ranks. So we will see later in the next slide that Mysore was a Hindu kingdom which was being ruled by the Vodiyar dynasty during this time. Hyder Ali displaced the Prime Minister Nanjaraj and he kept the ruler of the Vodiyar dynasty as the prisoner. And the ruler died. Hyder Ali became the de facto ruler of the Mysore kingdom. So I was telling you, this all we will see in the next coming slides. So I was telling you that Hyder Ali, he joined the Mysore army as a very small officer at very lower rank, and he rose to higher ranks in the army because of his great military skills and determination. Now, what alarmed the British? The Britishers, they were alarmed at growing friendship of Hyder Ali and French in India. So Hyder Ali, he recognized the importance of Western military training, and he gave this training to his troops with the help of French. So the Western military training along the European lines were given to the troops, and the European discipline was maintained in the army. Also, with the help of French experts, he was able to establish a modern arsenal at Dindigul in 1755. So, what is an arsenal? An arsenal is a place where the arms and ammunitions are made, they are kept, repaired, and maintained. So, he established a modern arsenal on the European lines with the help of French experts. So, obviously, this growing friendship between French and Hyder Ali alarmed the British. Now, Hyder Ali displaced Nanjiraj, the prime minister, and made the Raja a prisoner in his own palace. This I have told you already. In 1761, Hyder Ali made himself the ruler of Mysore. So he became the ruler of Mysore in 1761. He practiced religious toleration. That means he employed Hindus also as important officers in his army. In 1763, he started building a sizable navy to counter the British dominance over Indian waters. So Hyder Ali, he recognized the importance of navy, and he knew that the Britishers, they are strong, dominant naval power. Decided to build a strong and large navy to counter the British dominance over the seas. And also, navy would help to open communication lines with the French, who could assist Mysore during its war with Britishers. Strong navy would help Mysore to increase its trade relationships with the other countries of the world. So therefore, Hyder Ali, he started building a sizable navy in 1763. Main reason was to counter the British dominance, and other reasons I told you, to increase trade and to open communication lines with the French so that they could assist Mysore during the wars with British. Power of Mysore was increasing under Hyder Ali, and obviously he wanted to expand his kingdom, his territories, and increase the trade. So he was engaged in war with the other powers like Marathas, the Nizam of Hyderabad, and the Britishers, of course. Now, this growing animosity between the British and Hyder Ali led to the war between the two. So in 1769, Hyder Ali, he was able to defeat British repeatedly, and he attacked Madras. So he forced the Britishers to sign a treaty which was humiliating to them. This treaty was the Treaty of Madras on April 4th, 1769. That brought the end to First Anglo-Mysore War. So I told you the growing animosity, or you can say the growing rivalry between British and Hyder Ali, who was ruling Mysore at that time, led to the First Anglo-Mysore War, in which Hyder Ali repeatedly defeated British, and this led to the Treaty of Madras, which was signed between the Britishers and Hyder Ali. And this treaty brought an end to the First Anglo-Mysore War. Hyder Ali died in 1782 during the course of Second Anglo-Mysore War. So we will see later why Second Anglo-Mysore War started. It started obviously because the Britishers, they did not respect the terms of the Treaty of Madras, which led to the Second Anglo-Mysore War. But Hyder Ali died during the course of this war in 1782, and he was succeeded by his able son, Tipu Sultan. So we will see how Tipu Sultan, he was engaged in war with Britishers, and how he made Mysore a very powerful kingdom. Now coming on to Tipu Sultan, who was also known as the Tiger of Mysore, and tiger symbolized his rule. He ruled from 1782 to 1799. As I told you earlier, Tipu Sultan became the ruler of Mysore in 1782 after death of his father Hyder Ali during the course of Second Anglo-Mysore War. And in the map, you can see the territories of Mysore, the Mysore kingdom during the rule of Tipu Sultan. Tipu Sultan, he was a capable, intelligent, and energetic ruler. He was a shrewd warrior, he was enigmatic, and he wanted to strengthen his empire. And he was also an innovator. He introduced new calendar, system of coinage, weights and measures. He was actually a visionary. He was among those few Indian rulers who recognized the threat of growing English power to the local rulers. So he hated British, and the Britishers also in turn they thought that he is arrogant and he is the most dangerous ruler who needs to be crushed. As I told you that Tipu Sultan, he recognized the threat that the British posed to Indian rulers. So he hated them. And in 1785, he stopped the export of sandalwood, pepper, and cardamom from his kingdom. And also he prohibited the local merchants from trading with British. Not wanted the local merchants to trade with British, and he stopped the export of the following items. Further, what increased the suspicion of British towards Tipu Sultan was his close friendship with the French. So he had a very close relationship with French. He was a member of the Jacobin Club. Jacobin Club was established in India and he became its member. He planted the tree of liberty at Srirangapatnam, and he also had a keen interest in French Revolution. So he had a very good friendship with the French, again, which threatened the British. Being a statesman, he also understood the importance of economic and military strength. Tried to modernize his army on the European lines. He adapted European technologies. Along with that, he also recognized the importance of economy. So he wanted to increase the international profile of Mysore. He wanted to increase the trade of Mysore with the neighboring countries. So he understood that economy is important and military is important. So we will see what steps he took in both the fronts. So first of all, in the military front, he modernized his army with the help of French experts. And he also made the arms, the weapons in the European style, but these weapons were manufactured locally in Mysore. And he also identified the importance of navy, so he modernized the navy after 1796. So before coming to economy, I want to discuss this picture. This picture shows the Tipu's mechanical tiger, which was a toy tiger. And this is a toy where you can see a tiger is shown mauling a British soldier. Toy is played, there is a sound that resembles the sound of a person or the cries of a person in distress, along with the roar of the tiger. So, as I told you earlier, tiger represented the rule of Tipu Sultan. So, the story is important. It shows the hatred of Tipu Sultan towards the British and how Indian rulers resisted the threat of growing power of British in India. So Tipu Sultan, as I told you earlier, he recognized the importance of economy. So he tried to increase the state income by not granting jagirs. So that means he did not give jagirs or lands in place of the salary. He also tried to reduce the hereditary possessions of the polygars. Polygars were basically a feudal class who was given the administrative post and the military post, the high ranking post, right from the time of the Vijayanagar Empire. So they were economically very strong. So Tipu Sultan, he tried to reduce their hereditary possessions to increase the income of the state. He also tried to remove intermediaries between the state and cultivator. So that means he removed the middlemen and the taxes were collected directly from the cultivators. though the land revenue was high, but the collection of illegal cesses was checked. So that means land revenue was high during his time, but corruption in collecting land revenue and in collecting excess amount from the cultivator, it was checked. As I told you, he adapted European technologies and imported workmen to modernize industries. So he was impressed with the European technologies. And as I told you, he also wanted to increase the international profile of Mysore. So he employed foreign workmen to his industries and foreign experts. In order to build Mysore international profile and increase the foreign trade, he also sent embassies to different areas like France, Turkey, and Iran. It was noted by the Britishers that the farmers during the time of Tipu Sultan and Hyder Ali, the farmers, they flourished, the people of Mysore flourished, and Mysore as a whole, it was economically, it was more stronger than other parts of the country. Now let us quickly discuss the Anglo-Mysore wars. 4 wars were fought between the British and the Mysore kingdom under Hyder Ali and his son Tipu Sultan, and it took Britishers 32 long years to finally defeat Mysore. So let's see how it happened. The first Anglo-Mysore War started in 1767 and ended in 1769. Now, what were the causes of the war? It was during this time that Hyder Ali, he wanted to expand his kingdom, so he attacked some of the territories in south like Malabar. This alarmed the British. And then secondly, Hyder Ali, he controlled the rich trade of Malabar, and he had close relationship with the French. This I have already discussed, that Hyder Ali had very good relationship with French. So Hyder Ali built a strong army with the help of French. So all these factors threatened the Britishers and their control over Madras. What were the factors? First of all, Hyder Ali was expanding his territories, had annexed many areas in south like Bidnur, Kannara, Malabar, and he also controlled the rich trade of Malabar. And thirdly, he had very close friendship with the French. So all these threatened the Britishers. So Britishers therefore allied with Marathas and Nizam of Hyderabad, and they declared war on Mysore. Now, what was the result of this war? Now, there was no conclusion for first 1.5 years of the war. But finally, Hyder Ali, he changed his strategy and he suddenly appeared before the gates of Madras, causing complete chaos and panic. So ultimately, Hyder Ali emerged victorious and Britishers were defeated. So therefore, a treaty was signed to end this war. This we have already seen. The Treaty of Madras was signed, and terms of this treaty were such that the conquered territories and the prisoners were exchanged or they were given back to their respective armies. Also, both the sides agreed to help each other in case of a foreign invasion. That means if either the Britishers or the Mysore is attacked by some foreign power, like the Marathas or someone else, they would help each other in that war. So these were the terms of the Treaty of Madras. So the first Anglo-Mysore War, in this war, Hyder Ali emerged victorious. He defeated the British and the Treaty of Madras was signed. Now let us see why Second Anglo-Mysore War was fought. Second Anglo-Mysore War, which started in 1780 and ended in 1784. Now what were the causes of this war? Now we have seen in the last slide, while discussing the first Anglo-Mysore War, that the treaty signed, and one of the term of that treaty was that both sides, that means the Britishers and the Mysore, would help each other in case of some foreign invasion. I hope you remember, we have discussed it just few minutes back. But Hyder Ali was attacked by Marathas in 1771, but the Britishers did not provide any support. So they violated the terms of the Treaty of Madras, and this was considered as breach of trust by Hyder Ali. So Hyder Ali, he declared another war on British in 1780 when British attacked Mahe. So Mahe was a French possession which was under the protection of Hyder Ali. And through Mahe, Hyder Ali would import French war material to Mysore. But this again threatened the British. So British attacked Mahe. And when British attacked Mahe, Hyder Ali, he found the opportunity to attack the Britishers. What was the result of this war? There were significant victories for Mysore, but neither side made material gains. That means it ended in a draw. There were no material gains for either side. But during the course of this war, that means the Second Anglo-Mysore War, Hyder Ali died in 1782 and he was succeeded by his son Tipu Sultan, who continued the war. Now, this war ended in another treaty, which is Treaty of Mangalore. So both the sides, they returned again the captured territories and the prisoners to each other. Now let us discuss the Third Anglo-Mysore War. It started in the year 1790 and ended in 1792. As we know, both British and Mysore, they were rivals of each other. So both wanted to establish their supremacy in the Deccan. This war, the Third Anglo-Mysore War, it started when Tipu attacked Travancore. And Travancore, it was an ally of the English, only source of pepper for East India Company. So Travancore, it was friend of the British, and Tipu attacked Travancore, which led to the starting of the Third Anglo-Mysore War. The British obviously they sided with Travancore and attacked Mysore. Again, the Nizam and the Marathas also joined the British. What was the result of this war? Now, this war changed the course of the history. It led to clear British victory in 1792. So the British, they emerged victorious. And this war, it concluded in the Treaty of Seringamapatnam. So this treaty was extremely humiliating for Tipu. Why? Because the terms of treaty were such that huge money was demanded from Tipu Sultan when this treaty was signed, and also half of his territories were taken away by the British. So General Charles Cornwallis, who was the Governor General of India at that time, he demanded massive financial tribute of rupees 3 crore from Tipu Sultan and also half of the Mysore territories. Treaty, two of Tipu's sons were taken hostage. So it was agreed that Tipu Sultan would pay half the financial tribute immediately and other half he would pay in installments. And till that time, two of the Tipu's son would be taken as hostages by British. So this treaty of Srirangapatnam was extremely humiliating for Tipu Sultan. Before discussing Fourth Anglo-Mysore War, here is shown a painting where you can see Lord Cornwallis is standing and two of Tipu Sultan's sons were taken as hostages. This Third Anglo-Mysore War was a great blow to Tipu Sultan's image in the south and to his dominant position in the south. So the Fourth Anglo-Mysore War, it was fought in the year 1799 and it ended in the same year. And the Third Anglo-Mysore War, it ended in 1792. So these years between 1792 to 1799 were utilized by both the sides, that is by the British and the Tipu Sultan, to reorganize and strengthen. The Treaty of Seringamapatnam failed to bring peace between Tipu and English. So Tipu Sultan was greatly humiliated after the Third Anglo-Mysore War. His sons were taken hostages, although Tipu was able to bring back his sons after paying all the amount. Still, this treaty failed to bring peace between both the sides. 1 year before the war, in 1798, Lord Wellesley, he became the Governor General. He brought a new doctrine of subsidiary alliance, and he wanted Tipu Sultan to accept the subsidiary alliance, to which he refused. Advancing further, let me first discuss what was subsidiary alliance. Now, after the Battle of Buxar, in which British emerged victorious, Britishers have started appointing a resident in Indian states. So, a resident was basically you can say, a political and commercial agent of East India Company. And his main job was to further the interest of East India Company. So resident would interfere in the internal affairs of the state and would further the interest of the East India Company. Under subsidiary alliance, the Indian rulers were not allowed to have their independent armies. Therefore, who would fight war on their behalf? It was the duty of Britishers to protect these states. So the Indian state has to maintain the and the British Army in turn provided protection to those states who had signed the subsidiary alliance. Also, a resident would be employed in all such states who have signed the subsidiary alliance. So, if a ruler is unable to pay the money for maintaining the British Army, then part of his territory was taken over by the Britishers. So, this was subsidiary alliance. So Lord Wellesley, he forced Tipu Sultan to sign the subsidiary alliance, to which he refused. And Tipu, he had, as we had discussed, he had very good relations with French. So he aligned with French again, and he modernized his army, modernized his navy, as we have discussed. So again, British saw him as a threat. So what was the result? In this war, in the Fourth Anglo-Mysore War, Tipu Sultan was killed, and the territories of Mysore were divided between the British and the Nizam of Hyderabad. So again, the Nizam of Hyderabad and Marathas, they helped the British in the war against Tipu Sultan and Mysore kingdom. Finally, the kingdom of Mysore was reduced, obviously because the territories were divided between British and Nizam of Hyderabad. And again, who was made the ruler of Mysore? The prince of the Vodiyar dynasty. And now Mysore was made to become the part of the subsidiary alliance. Mysore came under the ruler of Vodiyar dynasty, and subsidiary alliance was imposed. This is the story of 4 wars which were fought between the British and Mysore under Hyder Ali and his son Tipu Sultan. And it took 32 long years for the British to finally defeat the kingdom of Mysore and to force the kingdom to accept subsidiary alliance and make it a puppet under the British. Through these wars, the possibility of French becoming a dominant power in the Deccan was eliminated permanently. So this was all about the kingdom of Mysore that we have discussed under chapter 2 of NCERT, and so that the audience can understand how Mysore, which was such a strong power, was finally defeated by the British. So thank you so much, guys, for being with me on this. In the next chapter, we will discuss Travancore, though I wanted to discuss it in the same video, but I think Mysore has taken a lot of time. So if you like the video, please like and share it. And please also share your views in the comment section. I would be very glad to read them and to answer each and every comment. And please subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much. Have a great day ahead.